I would now like to introduce our moderator for today, Susan Chapin, BCTA Program Manager. Susan heads up the BCTA Secretariat and has overall responsibility for coordinating activities with member companies and partners. Susan has extensive experience in creating innovative business solutions at the base of the pyramid, leveraging more than 20 years in financial and private sector development. She has consulted for IFC, USAID, CGAP, and the European Investment Fund. She has deep knowledge of the value chain analysis and international business strategy. Susan, I'll now hand the floor over to you.
Thanks, Jessica. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you can join us today for the webinar on Survival of the Fittest, Adapting Business Strategies for Growth. My name is Susan Chapin, as Jessica mentioned. Let me speak a little bit about the business call to action. Perhaps some of you are familiar with us. This is a brief overview. The business call to action is a global membership platform which encourages private sector companies to develop innovative business models that combine both profitability and development impact in support of the Millennium Development Goals. BCTA is supported and endorsed by 9 partner organizations, including the Australian Agency for International Development, UK Department of International Development, US Agency for International Development, Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, UN Development Program, UN Global Compact, Clinton Global Initiative, and the International Business Leaders Forum. To date, 45 leading companies have responded to the business call to action by making commitments to improve the lives and livelihoods of millions of people through commercially viable business ventures that engage low-income people as consumers, producers, suppliers, and distributors of goods and services. Our goal is to reach 150 companies by 2015. The purpose is to gather together a critical mass of leaders to create a demonstration effect. Today we're going to be speaking with 2 of those leading companies in Latin America, one in Mexico, one in Brazil, both of whom have introduced innovation at the base of the pyramid and have found a means to create scale. Companies that join the business call to action, a multi-purpose platform, benefit from several of the core value propositions. We present a high visibility leadership platform, including association with supporting partner, brand, possible international speaking engagements. We also provide access to a global knowledge network on inclusive business models and communities of practice. There's opportunities for partnerships with development agencies and international organizations. And we validate and disseminate results. We're able to measure the results of the development impact thanks to the companies who share with us their data on both the business side as well as the development impact. Of course, we engage in webinars such as this one. We would like to thank or acknowledge our co-partners today. We are also being supported by Business Fights Poverty and New Ventures. Business Fights Poverty is a global online community with over 100,000 professionals that are dedicated to the idea of fighting poverty through core business initiatives. New Ventures is a global network of enterprise acceleration centers that spur the growth of entrepreneurial approaches to the challenges of sustainable development. Moving right along, because I know you want to get to the core speakers, we also want to acknowledge the fact that we are part of a larger series called the Big Event Series, which is online and face-to-face events that take place in New York, London, and Addis Ababa under the title of Business Impact for Good. This is an ongoing series. I'm going to move right along because I want to get to the speakers. So why focus on adaptive business strategies? Leading companies in the developing world clearly have to have 2 traits in common. They have to think strategically and have the ability to react and change their business model depending on the environment. So the 2 companies speaking today can describe for us how they've adapted to conditions and mostly how they've had sort of creative and innovative adaptations based on the innovations of their founders and partnering with organizations, either an accelerator organization such as the World Resource Institute New Ventures Program, or through acquiring new investment resources by reaching out to a larger company that's engaged in their same community. So the 2 companies we're speaking to today on this webinar are Grupo Orsa, or Ouro Verde Amazonia in Brazil, and Échale to casa in Mexico. They were willing to convert their corporate structures to grow their business and to innovate through green adaptations. I'm now going to introduce our first speaker, and here we go. So we have Fabian Llinares. Fabian joined New Ventures Mexico in 2009 and is currently the director of New Ventures Mexico Acceleration Program. Prior to joining New Ventures, Fabian was employed by HBM GmbH, Indra Systems SA, and Queensland University of Technology in Australia. Fabian has quite a strong international background. He holds a Master in Management from ESCP Europe, a Master in International Business from Instituto Tecnológico de Estudios Superior de Monterrey, and a Bachelor of Science in Germany in Electrical Engineering from Technische Universität Darmstadt. So without further ado, Fabian, please proceed. Thank you.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Susan, for the introduction, and thanks, BCTA, for this opportunity to present today. I'll go straight to the content slides. And first of all, here's a question we asked ourselves almost 12 years ago. So as the world population rises, how can businesses help to meet the ever-increasing needs of a growing world while protecting threatened resources such as clean air, water, and biodiversity? Well, at New Ventures, we believe that the answer lies in entrepreneurship, environment, and emerging markets. So where does New Ventures come from? We are headquartered at the World Resources Institute in Washington, D.C. And of course, the WRI provides access to technical and research expertise, as well as connections to a global network of experts in different areas related to sustainability. So where are we today? Apart from our global hub in Washington, D.C., New Ventures has got 6 local centers, which are in Brazil, Colombia, China, India, Indonesia, and Mexico, and I represent the Mexico local office. So in terms of our results in these almost 10 years, we have supported 346 environmentally focused companies. Through our efforts, $267 million have been facilitated, of investment have been facilitated to these companies. We've created 24,000 local jobs. 135,000 tons of CO2 were reduced by New Ventures companies alone in 2010. And in that same year, we placed 1.5 million hectares of land under sustainable management. So getting a bit into the topic of this seminar, what do we actually do at New Ventures? We try to demonstrate the power of environmental entrepreneurship through 3 main activities. First of all, we identify and select environmental companies. Then we mentor these companies. And finally, we showcase these companies to the world and, more importantly, to investors so that these companies get the necessary investment and financing to grow. Our selection criteria are, first of all, we only support organizations that are businesses, so that are for profit. We want to see great management capabilities, so a strong entrepreneurial team. Of course, we're focused on impact businesses. These businesses need to have a high growth potential, and they need to show innovation, be it technological or in their business model, which I think is interesting for this seminar. Talking a bit more about New Ventures Mexico, we've actually grown faster than the other local centers, and we've added some other business units to this core model. First of all, on the identification side, we have Las Páginas Verdes. That is a directory. It's almost like the yellow pages. It's a directory that unifies all green products and services offered in Mexico. So there's over 2,500 products offered in this green directory. And effectively, it is a mechanism to join the demand side of things, and also the customers that might be interested in these products, be it direct customers or also businesses. So this helps us to identify all the SMEs that are working in this environmental, sustainable space. In terms of mentoring, We split the program in two parts. We have a pre-acceleration network that is focused on providing capacity building to these entrepreneurs. And we have the core acceleration program that is supported by the Sustainable Minds Network. It's called Strategy Bootcamp, and I'll get a bit more into detail later on. In terms of showcasing, we are running 3 different programs or 3 different efforts. One of them is Tonic. We partnered with Tonic that is headquartered in San Francisco. It is an angel investor network club that invests in impact businesses. And we partnered to bring Tonic to Mexico, so we're leading the Mexico chapter of Tonic. We believe that it's an excellent way for our companies to get the necessary financing. Then we're also launching in a partnership a fund, an impact investing fund that's called Adobe Capital. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them later on. And 2 years ago, we started the Latin American Impact Investment Forum, which is the main event for impact investing in the region. So through these initiatives, we believe that we can channel more investment towards the companies that we support, and that this will lead effectively to the growth of sustainable small and growing businesses. So what are the key success factors from our experience for these companies to go through a process and to then become success stories like the ones you're going to hear later on? So we have identified 2 key success factors. One of them is the business model that these companies have. That, of course, is something dynamic and that has to adapt, as Susan mentioned before, and as it's key, and we will see through this webinar. And the other one is the entrepreneur. So in terms of the entrepreneur, it's hard, but we try and of course help to generate more capacities within the team, to train them through seminars and leadership dynamics, and also of course in communication skills. But what is more important today, I think, is the business model. And here we're talking about sustainable business models that, of course, have to basically address these 3 P's of the triple bottom line: profit, people, and planet. And we see that all our process is focused on identifying this business model at first, on selecting companies based on the potential of this business model, then on helping them to understand the business model, later on helping them to redefine this business model, and finally to communicate this business model. So I'll go a bit deeper into that, and I'm going to use a framework provided in the book Business Model Generation by Osterwalder and Pigner. And this is just a framework, but basically what it says is that there are 9 building blocks to a business model. And what is interesting, what we have seen, is that in each of these building blocks lies an opportunity for innovation. So in terms of trends, what we have seen is that lately, or especially for sustainable businesses, for social enterprises, there is a strong opportunity at the partnership side. So partners can definitely leverage whatever a sustainable company is doing. Then, of course, the value proposition, which is the addition of everything. There is a strong opportunity for innovation there. Then also channels. Lately, of course, there are modern channels available through social networks, the internet, and this is a strong opportunity also for social enterprises, and of course the customer segments. So these companies that address the bottom of the pyramid, it's a new customer segment that can be further segmented. So there is a lot of innovation to be done there too. And to illustrate this, I have one example. I have other examples if they're necessary. It's a company. It's a Mexican company that's called Aires de Campo. It was bought last year by a strong food company here in Mexico, a leading food company in Mexico. And I'm going to go through their business model a little bit. What they do is they're the main distributor of organic produce in Mexico. They have also started to export, and they distribute most of these items through their own brand, which is Aires de Campo. So what are their products? They're widely accessible, they're unique, they're high quality, they're fair trade and organic. So I believe that this is their value proposition. And in terms of their key activities, they figured out that what they can do best is to develop these products and to develop the packaging that is suitable for the customers, which in this case are what we call lojas. So it's people that have a lifestyle of health and sustainability, first of all in Mexico, but as I said, right now they're exporting as well to the United States and to Europe because their products are unique, as I was mentioning. So how did New Ventures help here? We helped essentially help them to develop their small producer base. They work with over 150 producing companies that produce these goods. They help them to certify. They help them with the financing, and they help them to get access to this high-end value chain. So this is important. This is one of the things where New Ventures has helped. And the other thing is we help them to understand the cost structure, because their main channel today is modern retailers such as Walmart and Costco. And so it is very important for these companies to understand their cost structure, because otherwise they can effectively drown in their growth, right? So what I really want to highlight here is that over the years they've had several opportunities of growing. For example, in terms of channels, one of the key opportunities I mentioned before. First of all, they wanted to open these own retail stores. And through New Ventures and through analyzing these opportunities, we advised them against it, and we advised them to go through the mainstream wholesale channel. So this was, I think, a very good advice, because right now they are the leading company, and they effectively have established the Aires de Campo brand, which is known by all of their customers in Mexico at least. So I wanted to provide some conclusions before we head on with Francesco and Luis, two of the companies that have been supported by New Ventures and that have had to adapt their business models. First of all, I think it's really important to understand your value proposition and your overall business model. So then you can find opportunities for business model innovation in these blocks that I mentioned. Later on, of course, redefine growth strategies accordingly and include key partners to leverage the model. So I believe that New Ventures can be a strong partner, but of course there are many others that can help leverage the strategy. And that's all so far. Thank you very much. And I'll give back to Susan to introduce Luis. Thank you.
Thanks, Fabian. That was interesting. It would be terrific if we are all, in fact, LOHAS, lifestyle and sustainability individuals. That's an interesting term. I really appreciated your framework, and now I'm going to introduce Luis Fernando Laranja, who's going to be speaking about his company. So Luis is a partner and CEO of Oro Verde Amazonia, a position he's held since 2008. Oro Verde Amazonia processes non-timber forest products from the Amazon region in partnership with Grupo Orsa, one of the largest Brazilian pulp and paper companies. Prior to founding Oro Verde Amazonia in 2002, Luis worked for 9 years as a professor at the veterinary school at the University of São Paulo, where he also received his PhD in veterinary medicine. Dr. Laranja also holds a postdoctoral degree in animal science from the University of Kentucky. So I will give Luis the podium. And in the meantime, I just want to let those people on the call know that they are welcome to provide us with some questions that we can answer at the end of the session. So please be thinking of your questions. And now, Luis, you can continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Susan. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to talk for such an important audience, and we are very proud of being part of this initiative of Business Call to Action. I will be talking on behalf of Grupo Orsa. Grupo Orsa is the main shareholder of a company called Oro Verde Amazonia. This company, Oro Verde Amazonia, was founded by me 8 to 9 years ago, and since 2009, we are partners of Grupo Orsa. Grupo Orsa bought an important share of our company, and now I am a minor shareholder as well as the executive director of this new company. I'd like to move to the second slide, and I'm facing some problems with the connections with the slide. So if somebody from the organization could help me just moving the slides, because I have the original slides on my computer. I have no connection with the internet, so I cannot see what you are seeing.
Luis, you can go ahead and just say next slide, and I'll go ahead
yes,
and
that's perfect. That's perfect. So second slide, please. I'd like to present just an overview about Grupo Orsa, just for your reference. Grupo Orsa is a Brazilian national company. It has more than 30 years of operation here in Brazil. The total revenue is around $800 million. We have more than 8,000 employees, several certifications, and we are one of the largest Brazilian organizations in paper, pulp, and packaging sector. And we have a very specific and important project in the Amazon, managing a native forest in a very good shape. I mean, we are FSC certified. Next slide, please. There is one relevant aspect, that's the social commitment of Grupo Orsa. Currently, we dedicate 1% of the gross revenue of the group to our foundation, that's our Orsa Foundation. Next slide, please. The Grupo Orsa adopted 3 Ps management model, so people, planet, and profit. I'm sure that you are you know very well about this concept. Next slide, please. Here you can see some location of our factories and our operation in Brazil. You can see that we have a concentration of business in São Paulo state, where all the operation of packaging and paper is located. But what I'd like to emphasize is the operation that we have in the northern part of Brazil, in the Amazon region, where we have a company called Orsa Florestal, as well as a company called Jari. So next slide, please. This is the point that really interests for our presentation today. That is Jari project. Jari project is a large operation in the Amazon. It's a project originally developed by an American, Mr. Daniel Ludwig. Currently, it has an area of 1.3 million hectares, so probably it's one of the largest private area in the world. All land that is the forest today was cleared for decide to buy that project. And when Grupo Orsa bought Jari project, there was a public statement from Grupo Orsa proposing a zero deforestation action in that region. So since Grupo Orsa started operating in the Jari region, this large area, there was no deforestation. In that area, there is a lot of people living in the surroundings, and even inside the private land, we have around 100,000 people living there. And just in the rural areas, we have around 15,000 people living there. And it's a large operation. We have a private town, 9,000 kilometers of road, etc., etc. And inside this area, there is a mosaic of activities. The main activity is eucalyptus plantation in terms of economics. There's a second activity that's native forest management. It's a FSC forest forest management project with certification. And now we have non-timber forest products. That's the Ouro Verde business, and we have small agriculture inside that area. Next slide, please. I will talk a little bit about the specific case of Ouro Verde Amazonia. Our slogan is health and taste from Amazon forest to your table. You can see in your right side of the slide a native tree that we call castanheira. That's the tree that produces the Brazil nut. Next slide, please. Just a business overview. Basically, we process currently Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts, I'm sure that most of you know what is it. It's a nut similar to almond. And we are starting processing acai berry. So we process this product, transforming what we call this Amazon heritage into healthy, tasteful, and unique food products. We have 4 pillars in our business. First is high quality products. Second, fair trade. Third, environmental respect. And fourth, effective involvement of local communities. So these are the most important pillars of our business. And one important point that I'd like to point out is that we really believe that R&D investment is a very important strategy to transform what we call the biodiversity assets of Amazon in real business, because we know that there's a lot of fruits, a lot of oils, a lot of extracts in the Amazon. But if you do not transform that biodiversity assets in real products, at the end there is no value for that rich product. Next, please. So here you can see what kind of product we produce by processing Brazil nut. We have a Brazil nut extra virgin oil, Brazil nut meal, Brazil nut butter, and the traditional shallot Brazil nut. So we have unique products because we invest in R&D, and so probably we are the only company in the world that produce Brazil nut extra virgin oil, for example. We have products with a very exotic taste. And so the chiefs of restaurants really enjoy our products. There is a strong health appeal because the nutritional quality of Brazil nuts is very, very good, considering that it's very rich in selenium, in polyunsaturated fatty acids, etc., etc. Our business is based on the Amazon conservation because we need the stand-up native tree that produce Brazil nut to do our business. And we act with social responsibility, and we promote the fair trade, and we are a very low carbon hinder. So these are the upsides of our business. Next, please. What's some of the competitive advantages that we have in our business? We are right now organic certified by EcoCert. We have a very strong connection and relationship with different native communities in the Amazon. We have made partnerships with different organizations like UNDP, DTZ, and several NGOs in the Amazon. And we invested in R&D a lot. So as I'm personally, I came from the university. I was a former academic professor, so I have a good relationship with the university, and so I really believe that we need to invest in research and development. So at the end, I think that we have an advantage that we know how to talk with the lady that is in the right picture of your screen, as well as we know how to talk with the guy that is in the left side. You know, so it's not a easy connection, but we can talk with both sides of the chain. Next, please. Here's the environmental and social impact of our business. So by fostering the development of Brazil nut supply chain, we create three different things. we create opportunities, we create employment, and we create revenue. And so when I say opportunity, it's much more than employment and revenue. Sometimes opportunity is self-confidence for the local communities, the happiness, the proudness of that community. So I think this is really, really important. Currently we buy Brazilian nuts from around 400 families located in the Amazon. We pay premium price. I can say that in the average of the last 3 crops, we paid an overprice of 40 to 50% of the average market price. So we really pay premium price. And one thing that I'd like to emphasize is that we do not pay premium price because we are just nice guys. We pay premium price because we make a deal with the local community and we say, hey guys, if you improve the quality of the nut, we can pay you more. If you have a scale of production, we can pay you more. So it's a win-win situation. I always emphasize to the local communities, hey guys, we are a private company, we are not from the church, we are not an NGO, we are not government, we are a private company, we are here to make a good business, you know. So we'd like to make money, and we would like that you make money together. So that's the policy of our company, and we are really satisfied with the situation because the improvement in the quality of Brazil nut is amazing. It's unbelievable. So this is the big deal. You can see a picture in the back of the slides. It's just the house of one of our suppliers in the Amazon forest. Next, please. So what's the secret? Let's say the secret. Well, first of all, organization of the product value chain. I mean, give training and making good deals with the local communities. Second, pay a premium price for them. If they are providing a better product for us, we can pay a premium price, and this is a kind of incentive that really works. Another important point is about logistics. You know, we are inside a large native forest, a large tropical forest, so if you don't have a logistic intelligence, we will not have a good business at the end. And the last point is about adding value in the product, so we invest in R&D to add value in the native product from the Amazon. Next, please. Now let me tell you a little bit about the deal made between Grupo Orsa and Ouro Verde Amazônia. We started a negotiation in 2008, and in January of 2009 we really started working together. Grupo Orsa invested around $1 million and became a shareholder of Ouro Verde Amazônia. Now Grupo Orsa is the major shareholder with 51% of the share of our company, and I am the minor shareholder. And so when Grupo Orsa invested the money, the gross revenue of Ouro Verde jumped from less than $250,000 US per year to more than $2 million US in 2010. So you can see in the graphic in your right side of the slide about the revenue, the total sales of the company from 2005 until 2010. So you can see the impact of the investment made by Grupo Orsa in the company. Next slide, please. So as this webinar proposed a theme based on a biology science concept, I'd like to use another concept of biology science to explain why these two companies come together. So there's a book called Mutual Aid, A Factor of Evolution, written by a Russian scientist. And so what he was trying to show is that he did not agree with the social Darwinism. So he said that survival of the fittest is much more cooperation than competition. So he created the concept that the fittest was not necessarily the best at competing individually, but often the community made up of those best at working together. So I think this is the case of Ouro Verde, Amazonia, and Grupo Orsa. We put together all our knowledge, our good things to have a synergy. Next, please. So here's the real aspect why Grupo Orsa is interested in Brazil nut processing. Well, let's remember that Grupo Orsa has a very large business in the Amazon region, composed by at least two big companies like Jari Cellulose, that means Jari Paper Pulp. It's a 300 million US dollar business. And Orsa Florestal, that's the company that operates the certified forest, FSC certified forest in an area of 545,000 hectares in the Amazon. So probably one of the largest tropical forest management projects in the world. So considering its strong investment in the Amazon, Grupo Orsa decided to expand its activity in the region, in investing in non-timber forest products. So they try to find somebody here in Brazil that had experience with Brazil nut and experience by dealing with local communities. And so that was the reason why they invited us to come here and to discuss an investment with them. Grupo Orsa investment. Well, first of all, economics. I think that they think their perspective that the business could grow. So that's what I call a non-traditional opportunity of good business, because non-timber forest product usually is a very small industry. But I think that they could see a good perspective from the economic point of view. Second, and probably very important, is the stakeholder involvement. Considering that Grupo Orsa has a private land of 1.3 million hectares in the Amazon, and inside the private land there's at least 15,000 people living. So it's very important to have a good relationship with the surrounding communities. And so Brazil nut industry is very important for that native community living inside Grupo Orsa region. So by investing in Ouro Verde Amazonia, there was obviously a good, let's say, side effect on the main business of Grupo Orsa. And the third point is what I call philosophy. Grupo Orsa is a company basically composed by only two shareholders, and they have their spiritual beliefs, and they think that's important to help people, etc. So there are at least three reasons why Grupo Orsa invests in Ouro Verde. Next slide, please. In conclusion, by investing in Ouro Verde, Grupo Orsa first improved its corporate image in the region, generating indirect benefits for other main business. You know, so I'm talking about image. I'm talking about good relationship with the stakeholders in the surrounding areas. So you can see in the point number 2, mitigate the risk of relationship with other stakeholders in the region. And 3, of course, they identified a business opportunity that we believe that we can generate up $30 million US in this business of Ouro Verde Amazonia. So even it's a much smaller business than the original one of Grupo Orsa, it is still interesting business. So next slide, please. So what are the lessons learned? What were some of the critical challenges of working with a small firm like Ouro Verde Amazonia? And it's a real challenge, you know, because Grupo Orsa is a large company and Ouro Verde Amazonia is a very small company. So we really had to understand how to work together. And I'm using now another biology science concept. I always say that it's a kind of adaptive behavior, you know. So we had to understand how to work together, because definitely there's some critical points. For example, Ouro Verde Amazonia is a kind of business that it's much based on personal and informal relationships than informal guys in the executive structure of Grupo Orsa faces the Ouro Verde Amazonia business. They think that we are crazy, you know, because sometimes we make deals with our suppliers just based on verbal contract. But that's how things happen in the Amazon. I can tell you a history that happened 2 or 3 months ago. I went to a Indian tribe, and we had, let's say, a round table of negotiation to make a deal about buying the current Brazil nut harvest. And so after 1 hour discussing, the chief of the Indian tribe came to me and asked, is the deal done? Is it okay for you? And he was talking in his language. He doesn't speak Portuguese, so there was a young Indian as a translator, you know. And so I said, yes, the deal is done. Yeah. And so he said, he looked in my eyes and shook my hands very strongly. And so I said, okay. And so 15 minutes later, the UNDP officer came to me and said, hey, Luis, when you shake hands with this guy, this is a much more important act than any document that you sign in your life, you know. Shaking hands with the Indian chief is more important than signing a formal document. So this is a kind of thing that we really have to learn how to deal in a large company like Grupo Orsa. But I think that we are doing a good job. So just the last slide, I can show you here the Projeto Jari. I consider that this is a unique model for the Amazon. We have a large private project in the middle of rainforest, a public commitment with zero deforestation, and a unique mosaic of economic activities that are large-scale, profitable, sustainable, high social impact in synergistic business. So that's the good history about our relationship with Grupo Orsa, and I think that we are doing a good job. So thank you very much for your attention. As I told you, we are very proud to being part of this initiative.
Thank you, Luis. You know, what strikes me about entrepreneurs is they are completely passionate about their business, and once you get them talking, I think it's very hard for them to stop. Luis, you went into such great detail about many of the interesting issues. I want to allow Francesco sufficient time, so I'm not sure that we will get to many questions and answers at the end, but I do want to connect a few dots here. Among your comments, you talked about the 4 pillars of your business offering. One is fair trade, one is high-quality products, another is environmental respect, and the final is effective involvement of the community. I believe that that's an aspect that Francesco is going to highlight. You also talked about the ability to sort of speak with people at both ends of the spectrum, giving us a fine example of being able to communicate with the indigenous community even when you don't speak the same language, and then also being able to talk to people in the lab. And finally, your rationale about the economics, stakeholder involvement of the local community, and philosophy of impact investing. So I'm going to let Francesco wrap up. I'm going to introduce him now. He is the founder and CEO of Échale casa, which is put your heart into your home. It's a low-income housing provider in Mexico, and Francesco is going to talk about his company's experience in going from a non-profit to a for-profit company with plans to scale rapidly. Francesco Piazzesi started his career in the family business, Échale Mexicana, which specializes in construction machinery. With his expertise, Francesco first founded the nonprofit organization Adobe Home Aid in 1987, which a decade later developed into Échale casa. Since the beginning The company has provided homes to more than 26,000 families and facilitated more than 150,000 home improvements. Francesco has received many awards. Among them, he was selected as the 2011 Social Entrepreneur in Latin America for the Schwab Foundation. He's also a 2010 Ashoka Fellow. Francesco holds a PhD in Strategic Management for Development Policies from Anáhuac University and an MBA from Instituto Tecnológico y de Estudios Superior de Monterrey. Francesco, I think you can probably take till about 5 after the hour because we started 5 minutes late. If there are questions, you are welcome to type them in to our participants. And if not, we will listen quite intently. I know that Francesco has an interesting presentation. So go ahead, Francesco. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. I will try to be as brief as I can. As Fabian said just a minute ago, we are one of these accelerated companies, and New Ventures has helped us to spin from a NGO to a social business. And through the presentation, we are going to see how we did it and why we did it. Our mission is to promote sustainable self-construct housing in the communities around the world. Why? Because there are 1 billion people around the world that have not a home. And just in Mexico, we need something like 6 million new homes just for the underserved house population. What's the problem? The problem is not the technology, it's the financing process that we are going to look at it also. In Mexico, we are 117 million persons, and we have an habitat inventory of 37 million homes. But here's the interest part. It's the underserved families, which is 5.3 million families. Just multiply it by 5. And the financial requirements in credits, it's 1.5 billion. And in the value, it's $36 billion. So why this is a problem? Because this is money that no one is going to provide. We have to generate the solution. And the way to generate the solution is providing a sustainable process to build the home. We are not a construction company exactly. We are an inclusion company that works with the community to provide the solution. First, our technology is called AdoBlock. It's compressed earth block. It's produced with local soil, and it's very thermal, it's acoustic, it's very economic, and also it's produced by the people from the community, and they get paid to do so. And the houses are green. We provide all the homes with technologies like eco-technologies like rain harvest and purification of water, biodigesters, wood-saving stoves, solar heaters, and other eco-technologies. How the process works. It's a self-built process, but it's guided. We train the people from the community. We have 4 pillars. One is social inclusion. The second one is the financial education. The third one is technical training. And the fourth one is social franchise. As you can see, the demand that we have in front of us just in Mexico can be solved just by one company, and we can create thousands of companies in this way. So we work with the people from the community, and the community becomes a social franchisor in order that the people that already get trained are the ones who are going to continue with the process of building homes. Why is sustainable? It's very important not only to be green, but also to be sustainable. As you can see in this chart, we have the community, we have Échale casa, and we have the funding. The community has the land and the housing demand and the development. We have the experience, the organization, and all these system, all these model that works all put together. And the funding, it's an impact investment. We are not a giveaway program, and we are not also philanthropy. This is a dynamo. This is an economic generator into the community. So we have social impact, environmental impact, economic impact. So we can provide this sustainability to the communities, and also to the money. The money is very important. It's a very important part, because the economic spillover to the community, it's 80% of the program. So the community gets into another level. They have work. They have new businesses all around the construction company. This is Calakmul Campeche. This has been considered now one of the best practices around the world. The photo that you can see in your left side is the homes in Calakmul Campeche. In that homes, they have been living around 18 years, and you can see they have kids, and the soil, the floor is soil, and in the other photo we have the family of around 8 people. In the back is the new home. They built the new home. They were the ones who produced the material. They get paid to produce the material, and they get paid to build the homes, and everything was in the Échale casa model, and everything was with the people from the community. The ratio, it's 80% it's people from the community, 20% are our technicians. As you can see, Calakmul Campeche is the second largest biosphere in the world, and we build with the people from the community 1,000 homes there. We provide jobs for 5,000 persons, and the other impacts and the economic spillover in the community. And a small community as Calakmul with $8 million in spillover, we really generate a change into the community. This is the other one. This is Carril 2000 Durango in Mexico. This is north. This is desert. You can see the mother. Her name is Rosa Elena, and the little kid with the stripes, the girl in the left photo, it's called Rain. Her name is Lluvia, and it was exactly the same. People work, people produce the material, and people they know that they can do the process. Our Échale casa, it's a social inclusion program, and the last result is that they can be part of their own change. Here is this year portfolio. As you can see, it's very, very attractive. We are going to jump from past year was almost $9 million in income, and we are looking for this year to $34 million. Why this is so? Why this huge step? Because finally the federal government has recognized that there is this underserved housing population, and why we did not do this before? Because we were an NGO, and as an NGO, our impact was very, very, very small. We don't want to say that NGO it's not adequate to a solution, but not for this solution. It's adequate for another kinds of solution. For a house, you have to work. Construction is a dynamo. Construction is a money generator, and everything has to be a win-win-win situation. Win for the company, win for the industry, and win for the society. That's the most important part. That to for profit, even though it's a social company, has to be sustainable and has to be for profit. And New Venture was the ones who took us by the hand and guide us through this change of being an NGO. This is some of our recognition, and this house, as you can see, very beautiful. This is in the Chapanecan Sierra. This is southeast of Mexico. And as you can see, it's divided in three parts. The central part was the first step of the house, so the family can move in and live an affordable home. And the part of the house in the left side is the second part are the services, and the third part is the right side of the house, which are the rooms for the kids and gender distinction. Kids boys in one room, girls in another in another room. We present this program in Davos. We were invited by the World Economic Forum, and as I said, we are considered one of the best practices to provide solution to the underserved house population. I think.
So, Francesco, thank you. You know what I was thinking is that I will just do a very quick wrap-up. So I wanted to thank all of the speakers, and I also want to make a particular note of New Ventures of World Resources Institute, because based on these two companies, it looks like they're both great success stories, and if New Ventures has played a role in helping each of the entrepreneurs understand their business model, it's a great benefit. What I think I see here is that both of these business models address needs at the very base of the community. We're talking about indigenous people and people that are so poor that they're living in shacks. So to enable people to afford a home, to have pride and sense of purpose, that's really what we're all about. And furthermore, we understand that by having the economic component, the sustainability factor, that's what enables this to continue. And I appreciated hearing Francesco talk about dynamic economic communities and the social franchise. And then finally, we hear about the financial component when the federal government came in for Mexico or when Grupo Orsa, the investor, came in. That's what enables scale. And one other component is the green component. Both of these enterprises involve green sustainability, whether it's in the rainforest or using clean cook stoves and water collection methods. If you do have questions, you're welcome to contact any of the speakers, entrepreneurs, or Fabian Llinares at New Ventures in Mexico, or you can also contact the Business Call to Action. I do not see particular questions on the screen, although I know that this presentation probably raised many questions in people's heads. So we appreciate your participation and welcome your participation on our upcoming calls. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Susan. This does conclude our Business Call to Action webinar, Adapting Business Strategies for Growth. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.